Something is bothering you. Not loudly, not in a way you can point to and prove. It's quieter than that. This low hum beneath everything that says something here isn't real. And the most unsettling part, you can't tell if you're being paranoid or if you're really paying attention. Let's find out. There is a category of relationship that psychology rarely discusses honestly in mainstream spaces. Not abusive, not cold, actually warm on the surface. Attentive, sometimes generous, occasionally romantic. But underneath, the entire structure is load-bearing on one thing: what you provide. And the moment that provision is threatened, everything shifts, not dramatically, just enough. Just enough to notice if you are looking. Here is why these relationships are so hard to detect. Your brain, when emotionally invested, activates a cognitive pattern called motivated reasoning. It doesn't lie to you on purpose, it simply filters incoming information through the lens of what you want to be true. Which means the red flags were probably there early. You just had very good reasons not to see them. But patterns don't lie, and there are 5 of them that don't require a psychology degree to understand. Just the willingness to look honestly. The first pattern, their emotional temperature tracks your financial stability. When things are good, they are present. When money gets tight, a slow month, a lost job, an unexpected expense, something goes cool. Not a fight, just distance, less patience, a subtle withdrawal of warmth. Here's the psychology. Genuine love activates the brain's attachment system, which is ancient and independent of reward. But transactional connection runs on dopamine reward circuitry. It responds to benefit, not to you. When the benefit is threatened, the warmth follows it out the door. Ask yourself this: how were you treated the last time you were financially struggling? The answer is probably more revealing than anything they've ever told you. The second pattern lives inside how they imagine the future. Everyone talks about travel, houses, lifestyle. That's normal. But notice what's always the center of their vision. Is it experiences, growth, who you'll both become, or is it always things? Always a lifestyle that requires your income to sustain. And when you try to pull the conversation towards something emotional, toward weathering hardship together, toward who you are as a person, do they engage or do they subtly redirect? Professor Simone Weil wrote that the attention is the rarest form of generosity. When someone loves you, their imagination of the future is populated with your presence, not your purchasing power. The third pattern, how they handle your vulnerability, not financial vulnerability, emotional vulnerability. The moments you are grieving, doubting, struggling with something that earns them nothing. Genuine attachment leans in during those moments. Psychologist Sue Johnson's research on emotional responsiveness found it's one of the strongest predictors of real love. But in transactional relationships, your pain is inconvenient. They fix too fast. They minimize. They are physically present but emotionally checked out. And when you bring it up later, they make it about their effort, not about whether you actually felt held. That distinction is everything. The fourth pattern is about contact with nothing attached. Watch what happens on ordinary days when nothing is needed. Nothing is being repaired. No favor is being exchanged. Do they reach out just because you crossed their mind? Just because they missed you for no particular reason? Research consistently shows that spontaneous affection, initiated for no external reason, is one of the clearest signals of intrinsic love. Without that signal, what you will find is that contact clusters around logistics, events, and need. And slowly you will realize that someone can know all the facts of your life without ever really knowing you, because they never actually needed to. The fifth pattern is the one people most often mistake for love itself: possessiveness. Culture has romanticized jealousy for centuries, but psychology draws a sharp line. Jealousy born from genuine love is episodic, self-aware, accompanied by vulnerability. The person knows it's their own fear and feels conflicted about it. But possessiveness born from investment looks different. It's more consistent, more strategic. It frames you subtly as something to be protected, not because they fear losing a person, but because they fear losing access. Your growing independence makes them anxious, not because you might fall in love with someone else, but because independence means you might stop needing them. Genuine love expects your freedom. It trusts you with it. A relationship built on utility quietly shrinks it. Until one day you notice you've been asking permission from someone who was never supposed to have that power. Subscribe to Paradox Mind, share this video, comment your thoughts below. If something here gave you language for something you've been silently carrying, that matters. And you deserve more content that meets you at that level. Here's what I want to leave you with. Being in one of these relationships is really a story of pure calculated villainy. The other person often tells themselves a version of love. Familiarity feels like something. Comfort resembles affection. Their brain cooperates because the arrangement is working. The most complicated truth about the transactional relationship is that the person inside them often doesn't fully know, or they know, and they've learned to never look directly at it. But your love, the real kind, the kind that shows up without a ledger, that is not a weakness. It was never stupidity. The capacity to love genuinely is among the rarest things a human being can possess. And it is not diminished by being misdirected. The signs were always there. Now you have the language to see them. What you do with that clarity is entirely, finally yours.